Bulavinak, and a very good afternoon to you. As you heard the chairman say that the government has been very keen to ensure that we bring about a new level of transparency and accountability within the LTA processes, and indeed the manner in which, in this instance, taxi permits are issued. As we've known, and to call a spade, for many years within the LTA, people used to get LTA permits depending on who they knew, sometimes based on ethnicity, sometimes based on whether they went to the same school or not, sometimes based on whether the people are related to somebody in LTA, whether they came from the same province, or went to the same temple or mosque or church, whatever it was. And that created a lot of uncertainty within the LTA transportation system. And indeed, it created a lot of lack of confidence in the processes. So government a few years ago, under the auspices of the Honourable Minister, decided to ensure that we brought about a number of processes that created transparency. So everybody knew exactly what the criteria was. Sometimes we found that people who had applied 5 years ago, and then somebody came along within 6 months, just 6 months previously, and they got the permit, but the person who applied 5 years did not get an answer, or was not even considered. Nor were they told why they did not get it. What we have done over the past, in particular 18 months or so, we have created or put in place a number of regulations which sets out very clearly what is required for you to be able to get a permit, what's the criteria against which you'll be judged. If you fulfill the criteria, and now as the chairman has highlighted, we have a quota system. We have different zones in Fiji now. So if, for example, LTA is said there needs to be, for example, hypothetically, say 5,000 taxi permits within the Suva zone, and if there's only, at the moment, say 4,000 permits, there's obviously 1,000 people that need to get permits. So people can apply, they'll be assessed against the criteria, and then you get given a permit. As you have heard the chairman say, the criteria is very much skewed towards empowering people who come from low-income families. So if you've seen here, over here, it says those people who have less than $20,000 per household will be considered. Because as we know also, previously, a lot of people who had 4, 5, 10 taxis used to continue to always get taxi permits. We also know that many people who've been driving taxis for 15, 20 years, and they've kept on applying, but they've never got a permit. So these are drivers who've been servicing, the members of the public. So a lot of these issues have been addressed within that. So now you'll know exactly what the criteria is. And also, as you know, that Parliament only last week, under the Fiji First government, we put in place a law called the Access to Information. Now, what that means is that now, because we put in place this law, if, for example, somebody applies for a taxi permit and they don't get it, you have the right now to actually go to LTA and say to them, I want to know how the decision was made about my application. I want to see who made the decision. I want to see what criteria they followed. That's your right now. So that's what we've done. And in fact, that applies to any government process. If you apply for taxi permit, you apply for building permit, you want to apply for lease, you can get all that information pertaining to you. So what we are doing, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, is that through all this modernization, all the changes we're bringing about, we're creating what we call true democratic processes, in empowering individual citizens. Democracy is not only about voting for people in parliament. Democracy is about giving you the power to be able to know what is happening about you, to be able to influence what is happening about you. So please understand that, that's the whole process. And what we have done through this, of course, as you know, what we've done through this is that we've created, like I said, transparency, a lot more accountability. But as we know that when you have a system in place for decades and there has been no transparency, it's always very hard for people to make the mind change, make the shift. So there are people within LTA who may not be used to it. There may be people who have been dealing with LTA maybe not used to it. Politically, some people may not be used to it. But we have to go through this process. Otherwise, we will never modernize. So countries who've made the change, they followed a particular vision, they've been able to do that. If you look at countries like Singapore, everybody must follow the same rule. Sometimes people will come to us, I'm sure the ministers will tell you, we're standing outside Parliament, people will come along and say, oh, can you do this for me? Do me this favor? No, we can't. We have to follow the law. Otherwise, if we make an exception here, we'll have to start making exceptions for everybody. And if we don't make an exception for the other person, they'll say, well, that's unfair. So it's always good to follow the processes. and the systems that have been put in place. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the board, in particular and the committee that actually has been working on this particular program, if you like, this initiative. The group of licenses that are being issued today pertain to those people who had applied. Very few people had applied before the freeze, and some people who had applied during the freeze. So this criteria has been met against all those people, and of course there will be further advertisements once this lot has been assessed. And they'll be going zone by zone. I think at the moment we're looking at Suva and Lautoka being the first two zones, because they are the two larger zones, then moving on to other places in Fiji. There's also the issue of color coding to ensure exactly we know where people are coming from, which zone they're coming from. Your taxis will be colored in that particular manner, in that fashion. It is a small price to pay to ensure that we know exactly the rules apply to everybody. And also, as you would have heard, what we have done through this process, you give a lot more freedom now to operate from everywhere. And the further announcements will be made in that respect regarding bases and your ability to operate from various places. So the whole idea, ladies and gentlemen, is to simplify the process, to create a lot more transparency, to empower people who are from low-income families. We're giving them the first priority. We know, for example, many widows have said, they generally see the applying of a permit for a minibus or taxi as a means of supporting their families. And what we've done, we've taken that into consideration. Now, the drawing through the lottery fashion is that'll only happen once if you have more successful applicants than the actual quota. So, for example, in Suva, if you have 1,000 permits available and you have everybody that's applied and there's only 1,000 people who've qualified, obviously they'll get it. But if you have more than 1,000 people who've qualified, say 2,000, then the best way is to draw the lottery. Otherwise, if you have 2,000 who've qualified and we have only 1,000 positions available, then if we start choosing it ourselves, then everybody can always point the finger at us, saying, oh, you chose that person because, they got nice eyes or something, or they come from that school, whatever the case may be. So this is why the lottery has been put in place, so nobody can accuse anybody of any favoritism. And that'll only happen, of course, if there are more successful applicants than the actual number of positions or number of permits available in that quota. Government, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, just very quickly, for those of you who are taxi permit holders should also know that working through the Reserve Bank of Fiji, and the Governor of the Reserve Bank is here, we've said since the announcement of the budget last year that those people who come from low-income families, who have less than three taxis, and if they apply to get a loan from the bank, then the interest rate will be no more than 5%. The interest rate will be less than 5%. So please take advantage of that. As the chairman said, we want to lift up the game of the taxi business in Fiji. Gone are the days when you should, jump in the taxi and drive with your flip-flops. Please present yourselves well. Please ensure that the quality of service you deliver is well. Fiji is becoming very much the hub of the South Pacific. As you've seen, the Honorable Prime Minister is currently in Japan. He's been the president of COP23. As a result of that, we are seeing a lot more attention to Fiji. A lot more meetings are being held in Fiji. Next year, Fiji will host the Asian Development Bank meeting for the first time in the South Pacific. There'll be over 4,000 people coming to Fiji within 1 week. Can you imagine? They'll use taxi services. They'll go to the shops. They'll spend money. Now, if you have one taxi driver who's not going to present him or herself well, is going to be rude to them, is going to not follow the meter, imagine what impression they'll leave of Fiji. Because when you have about 4,500 people coming to Fiji, if everything works well, they'll say, let's go back to Fiji again. We have to understand that. Please understand that. I want to tell you a small story before I finish off. There was a gentleman who I met recently in one of the meetings, and he's been coming to Fiji because of regional meetings. And he was picked up by a taxi driver, and he said when he got into the taxi, it was a normal taxi in Suva, he said he had the air conditioning on, and he asked the gentleman who got in the taxi, he said, is the air conditioning too hot or cold for you? And he said he offered me a bottle of water. And he talked very nicely. He said the taxi was very clean. He said, I was here for 5 days. He said, I got his number because of the way he talked, because of the fact he just asked me whether air conditioning was hot or too cold. He said, I liked his service. He said, every day I travel 4 or 5 times in the taxi, I always called him up. So you can imagine what a small little bit of service can do. And that's what people are looking for. People are a lot more sophisticated nowadays. So you need to be able to ensure that, those of you who've got the permits today, please try and service like that. Even if you employ a driver, make sure that he or she follows that service. It doesn't cost that much to actually keep your taxi clean. In many countries, for example, what they have done is that they have actually given people only 1 year to change all the entire taxi fleet within 1 year. They said, you must have this type of taxi, it must be, the engine size must be this big, it must run, for example, on hybrid or whatever the case is. We are taking it progressively, we are taking it slowly, and for us the most important issue is to ensure that there's transparency. So thank you very much for those of you who participated. I'd like to thank once again the chairman and the board for their efforts, and all those who have been involved. I'd like to thank the minister in particular also, who's been implementing these changes as far as the new regulations have been concerned, and also to the committee that has been assessing this. Of course, the task has not been easy, and let's all work together to ensure that we create a much modern image of Fiji, a cleaner image of Fiji. Let's get a lot more professionalism, and to work together with the LTA to ensure that you follow the code, and also at the same time to ensure that we present an industry that will give us a lot more economic benefit. Because you know that if you run your taxi well, it's a source of income for you. If you run the taxi industry well, it's a source of revenue also for the government. And in that, all of us will benefit from it. So congratulations to all of you, and I have much pleasure in giving out the certificates. Vinaka, thank you. As you know that when the laws were changed last year, as announced in the budget, apart from the fact that those taxi permit holders who have less than 3 taxi permits, and when they apply for a loan, they can get an interest rate of 5% or less. We've also now, all taxi permit holders have got a taxi permit now for 10 years. Before it used to be only for 3 years. So now it's for 10 years. The taxi permits also can be mortgaged or used as collateral. So before, when people used to go to the bank, they could only give their car as security. for bill of sale. But now you can also give your permit. In the event, hopefully it won't happen, in the event that you don't repay your loan, then the bank can actually keep your taxi permit as security. In the same way, for example, when you buy a house, you give your house as security. So now taxi permits is deemed to be an asset. So please value it. Of course, you can sell your taxi permits. I urge you not to sell it. We've given it to you for you to make an income. But in the event that should you ever want to sell your taxi permit, you can. And of course, the LTA cannot stop you from selling it now. As long as you're not selling it to a terrorist or somebody who's an undischarged bankrupt or somebody who's created some sexual offense. That's very important. But other than that, of course, you can sell the permit to whoever you like. So what we've done, ladies and gentlemen, to all of you who are the recipients, we've today handed to you, for free, an asset. That's your asset. Please look after it because it's for your future and for your family's future. But you have all those options available to you. So when you actually are able to use your taxi permit as collateral, the interest rate can come down even further because the bank knows that in the event you don't do your repayment, they can also use that and sell it off and make, get their money back. So the most important thing is that all of you have received it, and those of the people who will be getting later on, we've all given you an asset. In the same way, we've given you an asset through the electricity shares. I urge you again, those people who, if you have an electricity account, if it's under your name, please register, you'll get shares. Obviously, all of you will qualify, those of you who have received the permit, because your household earns less than $30,000 a year. We're giving you 250 shares for free. It's yours. At a later stage in life, you can, you'll get dividends from it. Later on, you can even sell it. And that's worth money too. So what the government is doing is trying to empower those people in the lower end of the socioeconomic scale with a lot more assets at your disposal. But we're doing it in a manner, there's not a handout. We're giving it to you in a manner that will contribute to the economy. Thank you.
Thank you.